Greeting everyone. So in this episode, I will address the teaching situation part number 2. Right? For those who are intended to teach, you need to consider the differentiation that you will experience while teaching, all right, during your teaching performance and after or during the post performance. Right. In teaching, there are a variety of approaches and methods. Methods is a practical approach is theoretical. This is just in order to take into consideration this info, right? The application of approach or any particular approach has to be connected with the learners themselves, right? Their level, their expectations, how they acquire a language, and so forth, are all valuable and mandatory in order to determine which approach, what method, and what kind of technique that you need to apply appropriately in order to avoid misleading information, right? And also you will achieve the desirable goal, right? There are, let's say, several approaches in English, right? We have a teaching-based approach, all right? We have a communicative language approach. Also, we have the problem-based approach, project-based approach, and the well-known one, which is the competency-based approach, right? You need to determine the things, or let's say, the way of applying procedures that lead directly to the chosen approach, right? The learner's level is very, very important when they try to comprehend or deal with what you are representing. And you need to, when you open a debate, their concentration and their comprehensible input has to be taken into consideration. The stages of applying competency or any other approaches you have needs to be, let's say, consistent, need to be in a chronological order from one stage to the next till the final stage. And this kind of stages has to be connected, has to be let's say relevant from one stage to the other. There must be a connection, there must be a meaningful connection in order to bridge the gap between the first stage and the second stage, pre and during, right? You could manage your teaching, right, alternatively, and by using a variety of approaches at the same time. And this is called let's say, I couldn't find the term, but it has to deal with using a variety of approaches, right? The most important thing in realizing or choosing approach is determined by your own contextual setting or contextual classroom. I am dealing with learners who are capable, okay, in order to comprehend something. I need to provide them with a problematic or, let's say, project-based approach. Competency-based approach is also important for those who are really, let's say, able, who are advanced, those who are, let's say, determined to learn without any dependency. So, in other words, they are independent learner. Competency-based approach is the appropriate one that makes your teaching performance works efficiently. As for those who are beyond level, or let's say unable to learn, you need to guide them from time to time in order to decide their let's say achieving info or achieving lesson is being, let's say, grasped by each one of them, right? So the overall conclusion that you need to get from this video is that the application of approach is determined or is based on the learners themselves. So the learner's character, the learner's profile is really prioritized. Understood? Thank you very much for your kind consideration, and goodbye.